The discovery. The survey vessel Endless Curiosity drifted silently through the outer reaches of the restricted zone, its sleek hull reflecting the dim light of distant stars. Captain Nera Vex stood on the bridge, her multifaceted eyes scanning the void before them. Her crystalline exoskeleton shimmered with subtle bioluminescence, a sign of excitement among the Cylzari species. "We're approaching the quarantine boundary, Captain," announced First Navigator Trill, his tentacles hovering over the navigation console. "System Sol 3217 lies just ahead." Nera's antennae twitched. "Proceed with caution. This region has been restricted for nearly 500,000 cycles." The prohibited zone had once housed an unremarkable yellow star with 8 planets. According to ancient records, the third planet had birthed a species called humans. Historical archives contained only fragments about these beings, their brief expansion through their system, and sudden disappearance. Official records claimed they had destroyed themselves in some catastrophic war, their homeworld rendered uninhabitable. "Unusual energy readings detected ahead, Captain," called out Science Officer Mira, her scaled digits dancing across her console. "Faint but consistent. The pattern suggests artificial origin." Nera frowned. "That's impossible. Nothing should be active in this system." "The signal is originating from the third planet," Mira continued. "It appears to be some kind of beacon." Curiosity overcame caution. "Set course for the third planet. Full sensor sweep." As the Endless Curiosity approached, the blue-green world came into view. Surface scans revealed vast oceans and landmasses covered in dense vegetation, not the barren wasteland described in Galactic Alliance records. "Life readings are off the scale," Mira reported, her voice tinged with disbelief. "This ecosystem should be dead according to our records." "The beacon signal is stronger now," Trill noted. "It's emanating from the northern continent." Nera made her decision. "Prepare a landing party. We're going down there." Hours later, the exploration team stood on Earth's surface for the first time in 500,000 years. The air was breathable, but heavy with unfamiliar scents. Towering trees swayed in the gentle breeze, their enormous canopies blocking much of the sunlight. "These forests aren't natural," observed Mira, scanning a massive trunk. "The genetic structure has been engineered, designed to reclaim and purify the planet." They followed the beacon signal to a clearing where the ground abruptly gave way to a massive metallic surface. Centuries of soil and vegetation had grown over it, but recent seismic activity had exposed a portion of what appeared to be an enormous door. "This structure extends at least 2 kilometers in each direction," Trill reported, consulting his scanner, "and it continues deep underground." Before anyone could respond, the ground trembled with a deep resonant groan. Sections of the metal surface began to shift. Soil and vegetation cascaded away as the enormous door activated, its ancient mechanisms awakening after eons of dormancy. "Back to the shuttle," Nora commanded, but it was too late. The ground beneath them descended, carrying the team down into darkness. Emergency lights activated automatically, revealing they stood upon a massive platform sinking into the depths of an underground facility. The walls around them were lined with dormant machinery, their purpose unknown. When the platform finally stopped, they found themselves in a vast chamber. The space stretched beyond their light sources, its boundaries lost in shadow. "Stay together," Nara ordered, her hand resting on her weapon. As they ventured forward, lights began activating in sequence, revealing the true scale of the chamber. It wasn't just a room. It was a hangar of impossible proportions. Within it stood row upon row of massive vessels, their hulls bearing the unmistakable marks of weapon systems. "A war fleet," whispered Trill. "Hundreds of ships," Mira said, her scanner struggling to count them all. The vessels were clearly designed for battle, but unlike anything in the Alliance's archives. Their design philosophy was alien yet somehow elegant, emphasizing both power and efficiency. "These can't be human," said Nera. "The historical records described their technology as primitive." "The records were wrong," came a voice from nowhere and everywhere at once. The exploration team tensed as a figure materialized before them, a holographic representation of a bipedal being. Its form flickered and stabilized, revealing what could only be a human. The figure stood upright on two legs with two arms and a head containing two forward-facing eyes. It wore what appeared to be a uniform of some kind. IMCNTINEL, Strategic Emergency Network Technology Interface for Navigational and Emergency Logistics. This facility has remained dormant for 473,892 standard years, awaiting the conditions for reactivation. What conditions? Nora asked, finding her voice. The return of the harvesters, Centennial replied simply. We know nothing of these harvesters, Nora said. We are explorers from the Galactic Alliance. The hologram studied them. Alliance? Interesting. Humanity's records contain no such organization. Humanity has been gone for 500,000 years, Mira explained. The Alliance formed long after their extinction. Extinction. Centennial's expression shifted to what might have been amusement. Humanity is not extinct, merely elsewhere. Before they could question this statement, the facility trembled. Alert signals blared, and Centennial's expression became grave. They have returned sooner than calculated, the AI announced. The harvesters approached this system once more. Holographic displays activated throughout the chamber, showing the solar system and a massive distortion forming at its edge. Something was emerging from what appeared to be a form of faster-than-light travel unknown to the Alliance. What are the harvesters? Demanded Nara. They are the reason humanity left this world. Centennial explained. A species that consumes the resources of entire systems, stripping planets, harvesting stars, leaving nothing behind. More displays activated, showing historical footage of massive crystalline entities tearing into planets, extracting something from their cores. 500 millennia ago, humanity faced extinction. The harvesters had already consumed 17 colony worlds when they reached this system. Earth was next. But they're still alive. Humans still exist. Trill asked incredulously. Humanity enacted the Exodus Protocol. Centennial continued. They abandoned their homeworld but left behind automated defenses and a promise. They would return when they were strong enough to defeat the harvesters permanently. The displays showed huge vessels, arcs carrying millions of humans beyond the edges of known space. And now the harvesters have returned to finish what they started, Centennial concluded, which means the defense protocol must activate, and humanity's promise will be tested. The facility shuddered again, more violently this time. Throughout the massive hangar, the dormant warships began powering up, their ancient systems awakening. You should return to your vessel, Centennial advised. This planet is about to become a battlefield. Nara stared at the displays showing the approaching threat. Our ship is no match for those entities. We'd never escape the system in time. Then you will witness what humanity has prepared, Centennial replied. For 500,000 years, Earth has waited for this moment. As the platform began rising to return them to the surface, Centennial's form flickered once more. The signal has been sent, the AI announced. Humanity comes home. The endless curiosity hung in high orbit, its sensors struggling to process the events unfolding throughout the solar system. The exploration team had barely managed to return to their vessel before Earth's automated defenses activated fully. Massive orbital platforms hidden beneath the surfaces of moons and asteroids emerged and deployed. Ancient defense satellites awoke from their suspended states, and from deep within gas giants, enormous manufacturing facilities began producing combat drones at an impossible rate. Those structures were there all along, Mira marveled, watching the displays, hiding in plain sight for 500,000 years. Captain Nara paced the bridge, her eyes fixed on the tactical display showing the approaching threat. The harvesters had fully emerged from their transport method. A swarm of crystalline entities ranging from small drone-like structures to massive world-ship-sized behemoths. They moved with singular purpose toward the inner planets, "We should flee while we can," urged Trill. "Whatever happens here is beyond our concern." "Knowledge of these harvesters is absolutely our concern," Nera countered. "If they're as dangerous as CNTIEL claims, the Alliance must be warned." Before she could give the order to attempt an escape, the ship's sensors detected something else, a massive distortion forming at the edge of the system, opposite from the harvester's approach. Unlike the chaotic energy signature of the crystalline entities, this distortion was controlled, precise, and familiar. "Jump signatures detected," reported the tactical officer. "Hundreds of them. Thousands." The bridge crew watched in stunned silence as the distortion stabilized, revealing vessel after vessel emerging into normal space. The ships were unmistakably of human design, but far more advanced than the dormant fleet they had discovered on Earth. They varied in size and configuration, but all shared the same sleek, predatory aesthetic. "They came back," whispered Mira, "just as they promised." As the human fleet deployed throughout the system with practiced precision, the Endless Curiosity received a transmission. CNTINEL's holographic form appeared on the bridge. "The exodus has ended," the AI stated. "Humanity has returned to reclaim their birthright and fulfill their promise. You are witnessing history, explorers. I suggest you observe carefully. The galaxy will want to know what transpires here today." The first shots were fired as Earth's automated defenses engaged the vanguard of the Harvester swarm. Ancient weapons, dormant for 500,000 years, unleashed devastation upon the crystalline entities. The human fleet moved methodically into position, forming a coordinated battle sphere around the inner planets. "This is Admiral Helena Chen of the United Earth Defense Fleet to all non-combatant vessels in the Sol system," came a transmission on all frequencies. "You are witnessing the culmination of 500,000 years of preparation. Humanity has returned home, and we will not surrender our birthright again." Nera and her crew watched in awe as the battle unfolded before them, the opening act in humanity's long-awaited return to the galactic stage. The return of humanity. "We need to break orbit immediately," First Navigator Trill insisted, his tentacles working frantically across the navigation console. "Our shields won't withstand even a glancing hit from those weapons." Captain Nera Vex stood transfixed, watching the tactical display as the battle unfolded across the Sol system. The Harvester Vanguard had crashed against Earth's ancient defenses, like a crystalline wave against unyielding stone. Meanwhile, the newly arrived human fleet moved with a coordination that seemed almost prescient, vessels sliding into precise formations that maximized their firepower while minimizing exposure. "Captain, your orders," prompted Executive Officer Kale, his carapace flashing morning colors. Nera snapped from her trance. "Plot an exit vector away from the main engagement zones. Minimal power to engines. We don't want to draw attention." As the Endless Curiosity began its cautious retreat, a proximity alert sounded. 3 sleek vessels had detached from the human fleet and were rapidly approaching their position. "They've noticed us," Mira said, her scales flattening against her body in alarm. "Hail coming through," reported Communications Officer Zix. A human face appeared on the main view screen, a female with dark skin and close-cropped silver hair. Her eyes reflected an age at odds with her otherwise youthful appearance. "Alien vessel, this is Commander Ilara Washington of the UEF's Vigilant Dawn. You are in an active combat zone. State your identity and purpose." Nera stepped forward, straightening to her full height. "I am Captain Nera Vex of the Galactic Alliance survey vessel, Endless Curiosity. We were on a routine exploration mission when we detected unusual energy signatures from this restricted system." The human commander's expression shifted to one of interest. "Galactic Alliance. That's new." She glanced off-screen briefly before returning her gaze to Nera. "Captain Vex, you and your vessel are now under our protection. Maintain your current position and prepare to be escorted to a safe observation distance. Admiral Chen has expressed interest in speaking with representatives of this alliance." Before Nera could respond, The transmission ended. The 3 human vessels took up escort positions around the endless curiosity. "They're creating some kind of energy field around us," Mira reported, studying her instruments. "It's deflecting debris and radiation from the battle." The protected survey vessel was guided to the outer system, where a larger human ship waited, a massive command vessel that dwarfed their escorts. As they approached, Nera could see that its hull bore marks of old battles, yet it radiated power and authority. "The Admiral is requesting your presence aboard the UESS Remembrance," came Commander Washington's voice over the comm. "A shuttle will dock with your vessel shortly. You may bring 2 officers." Nera selected Science Officer Mira and Executive Officer Kale to accompany her. Minutes later, they boarded a sleek shuttle that transported them to the human flagship. The interior of the Remembrance was a revelation, a perfect blend of functionality and aesthetics that spoke of a civilization that had refined its technology over millennia. Their escort led them through corridors bustling with human crew members of varying appearances, all moving with purpose and discipline. They arrived at a circular chamber where a group of humans awaited them. At their center stood a tall woman with features that suggested East Asian ancestry and eyes that carried the weight of centuries. "Welcome aboard the Remembrance," she said. "I am Admiral Helena Chen, Supreme Commander of the United Earth Defense Fleet. You've arrived at a most significant moment in our history." Nera performed the Alliance's formal greeting. "Captain Nera Vex of the Endless Curiosity. These are my officers, Kale and Mira. We represent the Galactic Alliance, a confederation of 37 spacefaring species." Admiral Chen gestured to a holographic display showing the ongoing battle. "You've had the rare privilege of witnessing the culmination of the longest military campaign in human history, 500 millennia in the making." "Centennial informed us of the harvesters and the Exodus," Nera said. "But our historical records indicate that humanity destroyed itself in a civil war." A ripple of grim amusement passed through the assembled humans. "A convenient fiction," Admiral Chen replied. "When our ancestors realized the harvesters couldn't be defeated with the technology of their time, they implemented the Exodus Protocol. They seeded false information about our extinction while hiding automated defenses throughout the system, defenses designed to evolve and improve while dormant." "And the humans themselves?" asked Mira. "We fled," answered a white-haired man to Chen's right. 10,000 Ark ships carrying 20 million souls, bound for the galactic rim where the harvesters had yet to reach. "I am historian Marcus Okafor. My ancestors were aboard the flagship Memory of Earth. For 500,000 years, we have lived and thrived in the shadows of distant stars," continued Admiral Chen. "We built our civilization anew, developed technologies the harvesters had never encountered, and prepared for this day, the day we would return home." The holographic display shifted to show the human fleet engaging the harvester forces. The crystalline entities were formidable, their weapons tearing through space with destructive force, but the human vessels moved with uncanny coordination, as if anticipating every attack. "The neural network," explained a younger woman in what appeared to be a scientific uniform. "I'm Dr. Sophia Reyes, Chief of Fleet Operations. What you're witnessing is the result of our most significant advancement, quantum-entangled neural networks, allowing our ships and pilots to communicate and coordinate instantaneously across vast distances." "But why return now?" asked Kale. "After 500,000 years, why not simply establish your civilization elsewhere permanently?" Admiral Chen's expression hardened. "Because the harvesters never stop. They consume and move on, leaving dead worlds in their wake. If left unchecked, they would eventually find our new colonies as well. Humanity made a promise, not just to return home, but to end the harvester threat permanently." As if to punctuate her words, a massive explosion bloomed in the battlefield display. One of the largest harvester vessels had been destroyed, its crystalline structure shattering into countless fragments. "We've identified their central coordination node," announced a tactical officer, moving strike force into position. "Captain Vex," Admiral Chen addressed Nera directly. What you're about to witness is why we needed 500 millennia of preparation. The display zoomed in on a formation of specialized human vessels surrounding what appeared to be the Harvester command ship, a massive crystalline structure resembling a geometric snowflake. The human ships began emitting a synchronized energy pattern that seemed to interfere with the crystalline structure itself. Phase resonance technology, Dr. Rice explained. The Harvester's crystalline biology has a specific molecular frequency. Our weapons are designed to match and amplify that frequency until the Harvester command ship began to vibrate visibly, its perfect geometric structure distorting. Cracks appeared along its surface, spreading like lightning. In a spectacular cascade, the entire structure shattered, the fragments continuing to break down until nothing remained but glittering dust. Throughout the system, the effect rippled across the Harvester fleet. Without their command node, the smaller entities fell into disarray, their coordinated attack dissolving into chaos. Earth's automated defenses and the human fleet methodically eliminated the remaining threats. "It's over," whispered Mira in awe. "You've defeated them completely." "Not completely," corrected Admiral Chen. "This was merely one of their harvesting fleets. Their species extends across multiple galaxies, but today we've proven our technology can defeat them. Now we can take the fight to them. But first," added historian Okafor, with a smile that softened his weathered features, "we reclaim our home. Earth has waited long enough for her children to return." The holographic display shifted to show the dormant fleet they had discovered on Earth. The ancient warships were now fully activated, rising from their underground hangars into the atmosphere, their designs clearly the evolutionary ancestors of the vessels that had just won the battle. "Those ships were never meant to fight," explained Admiral Chen. "They are the colony vessels that will carry the first wave of settlers back to Earth. 50 million humans wait in stasis aboard our arks, ready to begin the reseeding of our homeworld." Nara found herself moved by the scale of human determination. 500,000 years of planning, waiting, evolving, all to reclaim a single world. "Not just a world," corrected Admiral Chen. "Our birthright, our origin, the cradle of our species." "And what of the Galactic Alliance?" asked Kale. "Humanity is now a factor none of our peoples anticipated." Admiral Chen exchanged glances with her officers before responding. "That remains to be seen. We have lived in isolation for 500,000 years, developing along our own path. We are not the same humans who left Earth all those millennia ago. We have evolved, both technologically and biologically." As if to demonstrate, she held up her hand. Subtle patterns of light moved beneath her skin, neural interfaces, and biotechnological enhancements that Nara had mistaken for decorative elements. "We are eager to learn about this alliance of yours," continued Chen. "But understand this, humanity has returned to stay. We will defend our system against any threat, and we will continue our campaign against the Harvesters until they are no longer a danger to any sentient species. The Alliance Council will want to establish diplomatic relations," Nara said. "Your technology alone would revolutionize our understanding of physics. And your alliance may provide context for humanity's place in this new galactic community," nodded Chen. "Your vessel will be the first to carry word of our return. We'll provide you with data on the Harvesters and our preliminary diplomatic protocols." As the meeting concluded and they prepared to return to their ship, Nara paused to look once more at the holographic display. Earth was visible now, its blue-green surface shimmering with life. Already, human vessels were descending to the surface, beginning the work of rebuilding a civilization on their ancestral home. 500,000 years, she murmured. "No species in the Alliance has demonstrated such patience, such determination." "That," said historian Okafor, who had overheard her, "is what makes us human. We endure, we remember, we return." Back aboard the Endless Curiosity, the crew prepared to depart the Sol system with an escort of human vessels that would accompany them to the edge of Alliance space, the beginning of formal contact between humanity and the galactic community they had never known existed. As the ship accelerated away from Earth, Nara composed her report to the Alliance Council. How could she possibly convey the implications of what they had witnessed? A species thought extinct for 500,000 years had not only survived but thrived, returning with technologies beyond Alliance understanding and a determination forged across geological timescales. The galaxy would never be the same. Humanity had returned, and they had brought with them a promise not just of protection against the harvesters, but of possibilities that spanned beyond the imagination of the Alliance's brightest minds. Set course for Alliance space, Nara ordered, her voice steady despite the weight of history she now carried. Maximum speed. The Council needs to know. Humanity has returned to the stars, and they have come home to stay. As the endless curiosity jumped to faster-than-light travel, Earth continued its ancient orbit around its yellow star. After 500 millennia of patient waiting, the cradle of humanity once again cradled its children, while their ships spread outward to reclaim their place in a galaxy that had forgotten them, but would soon remember.